After the events in Liberal, the story moves on to Crossbell State, a unique region in which both Erebonia and Calvard claim sovereignty over, and thus is a land of constant conflict in which various accidents have occurred, causing the death of many citizens. Corruption is rampant in the government, with officials supporting either Erebonian or Calvardian interests instead of the interests of its own citizens. This corruption seeps its way into other government agencies such as the Police Department and the Crossbell Guardian Force, or CGF, a de facto military created in name only and lacks the military capabilities and tools of a real army. There is a joint representation of the Crossbell government with Mayor McDowell, a neutral politician, and the Speaker Hartman, who pushes the imperial agenda. The Mafia Ravage was able to establish itself as the primary crime syndicate in the region, with support from corrupted officials, giving them free rein to conduct their illegal business without much interference from the police. However, an eastern crime syndicate by the name of Heiyu would eventually move in and contest their territory. They established the Crossbell branch under the name Heiyu Trading Ltd. as a seemingly legitimate trading company in Crossbell City, and was led by Chao Li. In order to create change within Crossbell, the Special Support Section, or SSS, was established as a separate department in the PD, which allowed it to act independently in hopes of giving it the ability to overcome the walls blocking them from pursuing justice. The team consisted of members from many walks of life. The section chief and co-founder was Sergey, a former detective from the prestigious 1st Division of the PD. The main SSS unit consisted of Lloyd Bannings, a young detective who joins the PD following in his dead brother's footsteps. Ellie McDowell, the granddaughter of Mayor McDowell, who hopes to broaden her knowledge of the world before entering the world of politics. Tio Plato, a researcher from the Epstein Foundation tasked with testing their new orbital staffs. And Randy Orlando, a former CGF member who was discharged after an altercation with his commander-in-chief. Together, they worked hard to make Crossbell a better place, acting similar to bracers and completing requests from citizens, which also improved the strained relationship between them and the PD. The road was tough, and there were many walls they faced along the way, but they made plenty of friends that helped them through it. There was Arios, an A-rank bracer whose abilities rivaled Cassius Bright. He bailed the SSS out after they got caught off guard by a monster while trying to save 2 kids. Another is a person named Wazi Hemisphere, the leader of a downtown delinquent group called the Testaments, who helped them stop Ravach's plans to take over downtown Crossbell City. They even met an unlikely ally, the White Wolf of legend in Crossbell named Zeet, who saved the SSS when they got surrounded by Ravach during their investigation into their war dog training and breeding program. Despite having to be rescued time and time again, they worked on overcoming the walls with their strength and perseverance, never giving up on their ideas, and began to make a name for themselves. Eventually, they learned of the secretive Swartz auction that was attended by high-profile nobles and political figures and was hosted by the leader of Ravach and the Speaker Hartman. The SSS was able to sneak into the venue where they discovered a little girl named Kia, who was stuffed inside a suitcase that was supposed to contain a doll. She had no memories of her past except for her name. The SSS would escape with Kia, causing Ravach to lose face with Hartman, and thereby losing their financial and political support. Kia was taken under the SSS's care while they tried to help her regain her memories. They quickly grew accustomed to life together and developed a deep family bond. In the meantime, Ravach was hurting due to their huge loss at the Swartz auction, and with the continuous interference of Heiyu, so they went with their last resort, using the drug Gnosis, which allowed a person to unlock their true potential. The SSS would come across this drug circulating among the public, which was used to test its efficiency and safety by Ravach. They caught wind of a rumor about the DG cult that worshipped demons and denied the existence of Eidos. This cult experimented with this drug using the power of demons, however they were supposed to have been wiped out. A sole survivor named Joachim Gunther worked as an associate professor in the neurology and pharmaceutical department at St. Ursula's Medical College, where he secretly continued the cult's mission of bringing a true god into this world. Using this position, he was able to perfect Gnosis after much trial and error. Gnosis would allow its users to share their knowledge with Kia and thus allow her to transcend to godhood, but she mysteriously disappeared from his custody during her 500-year slumber. Joachim also distributed the drug to the CGF under the disguise of a supplement. Gnosis allowed Joachim to control its users, thus giving him full control of Ravach and the CGF to try and take back Kia. The SSS escapes Crossbell and corners Joachim, where he takes a high dosage of Gnosis for his last stand, turning himself into a powerful demon. However, he is defeated by the SSS and dissolves into the air. After the incident, the government and its agencies went through some reform, with corrupted persons being removed from office. Dita Croy, the chairman of IPC, the largest bank in Crossbell, becomes the new mayor and Ravach is no more. Life is seemingly peaceful in Crossbell as Kia is getting ready for Sunday school, and the SSS, who are now her official guardians, see her off. In the months following the DG call incident, Mayor Dita and the SSS were hard at work in helping Crossbell's recovery. However, a new shadow would begin to loom over it. Sigmund Orlando, the leader of the Red Constellation, a Jaeger Corps considered to be one of the strongest in Zemuria, had been sighted in Crossbell along with his daughter Shirley. They took over Ravach's old base under the business name Crimson & Co. and used it as their base of operations in Crossbell. The West Zemuria Trade Conference was also taking place, with representatives from all over Western Zemuria attending to discuss economic and political policies. Here, Crossbell's ability to protect people under its jurisdiction was put into question by Chancellor Osborne of Erebonia and President Rocksmith of Calvard, who were pushing to have the CGF disbanded while bringing in their own military in an attempt to conquer Crossbell under the guise of aid. During the heated debate, two terrorist groups by the name of the Imperial Liberation Front and the Anti-Immigration League would make an attack on the conference in an attempt to assassinate Osborne and Rocksmith. However, their attack failed thanks to the efforts of police and bracers on site. They attempted to make their escape but were stopped by a third party. The Red Constellation, under Osborne's orders, executed the Erebonian terrorists, while Heyu, under Rocksmith's orders, captured the Calvardian terrorists. After dealing with the terrorist threats, talks resumed. However, Dita was tired of being pushed around by Erebonia and Calvard, and made a declaration of intent for Crossbell to become an independent state. A few days after the conference ended, the Red Constellation attacked and destroyed most of Crossbell City. Following this, Dita froze all assets on Erebonian and Calvardian accounts at the IBC until their independence was recognized, resulting in threats of invasion from the two superpowers. A rumor also circulated among citizens that the attack was done by Erebonia, their last known employer. A referendum was given by Crossbell's Board of Elections, in which a majority of citizens participated and voted in favor of independence, spurred by the earlier attack. Using these results, Dita declared himself to be the president of the new independent Crossbell. All police and military were combined into the newly formed State Guard, with Arios leaving the Bracer Guild to be the new Secretary of Defense. Shortly after the news broke, Arios took Kia without the consent of the SSS to Michelin Resort. The SSS pursued and found Dita's daughter Maribel with them. She revealed that 1200 years ago, her family was given the Septarian of Mirage, which controls perception, cognition, and causality. It's also one of the 7 treasures bestowed upon mankind by the goddess Eidos. However, it would cease its own existence due to the strain caused on its heart by mankind. Fearing the loss of its power, the Croy family devoted their lives to alchemy and creating a new Septarian. In order to complete this centuries-long plan, they needed a group devoted to their goals. They used the DG cult without their knowledge by teaching them alchemy and giving them Kia to worship as a god. By using Kia, a homunculus created by alchemy, to act as a core for the new Septarian, they would be able to bring their goals into fruition. The SSS tried to take Kia back, but was easily defeated by Arios. With the imminent invasion from Erebonia and Calvard, Kia understood the only way to protect Crossbell and the SSS was to become the Septarian and follow Maribel's advice. Left with no other choice, she went through a ritual and became a god. Using her newfound power and the AI units provided to her by Ouroboros, she easily repelled the invading forces, destroyed Gorelia Fortress along the border of Crossbell and Erebonia, and erected a barrier around Crossbell City. The SSS was arrested by the State Guard, with each member being imprisoned at different locations. Lloyd makes a jailbreak but gets surrounded in a nearby forest, where Zeet, who was actually the divine beast tasked to watch over the Septarian of Mirage, saves him. They go to the outskirts of Crossbell's border, where they rendezvous with Wazi, who revealed his hidden identity as the 9th Dominion of the Gralsritter, one of the elite knights of the Septian Church. With the help of Zeet and Wazi, Lloyd was able to reunite with the rest of the SSS and disable the barrier, allowing them to storm Orcus Tower to confront Maribel and save Kia. However, the group had relocated to a different area, abandoning Dita to be arrested by the SSS. Lawyer Ian, a valued consultant for the police and officials in Crossbell, revealed himself to be the mastermind behind the plan to create the Septarian of Zero with the intent of using her power to create a peaceful world. He cunningly gave Dita the idea to use the Red Constellation to attack Crossbell, in order to force Crossbell's independence and attract the aggressions of the two superpowers, thus forcing Kia to act in accordance to their plan. Shortly after this revelation, a colossal Azure tree took root off in the distance, and was revealed to be Kia's true form. The SSS made their way to the Azure tree, where they faced off against and defeated Arios. In the deepest part of the tree, they faced off against Maribel, who forced the rebirth of the Azure Demiurgos, using Kia as a core. After defeating this form and saving Kia from the core, she attempted to erase herself from existence, but Lloyd jumped in after her. He was able to comfort Kia and bring her back. Maribel, after having her plans fail, mentioned she's becoming an Ouroboros Anguis before escaping. They rescued everyone left behind at the tree before making their own escape as the tree crumbles. Afterwards, Ian was arrested and the case resolved. The SSS continued to support Crossbell the best they could, but with Crossbell having lost his power to defend itself, it was annexed by the Erebonian Empire.